You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming, and so you know on Twitter, The Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of In Case of Emergency, Cedric's Path. So yeah, before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is now for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel, get some awesome rewards like permanent access to community Discord server and full access to upcoming Not Safe for Work videos. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain you were up, and let's go. Okay. Yeah, no, you don't have to, narrate my life. I know what's gonna happen. Okay, I packed you a lunch. It's in the fridge. When's Mom coming back? You liked her food better? Not really. She can't cook either. Yeah, well, I guess I got that from her. She won't be back until I leave for college, so you're gonna have to stay with Dad until then. Well, who's gonna do the dishes in the meantime? I'm sure you'll figure something out. We all have to grow up at some point. I already have. If you say so. Don't forget to do the dishes when I'm gone, okay? Good night, Kieran. Good night. The morning comes too quickly. The sun has already crested the horizon by the time you roll yourself out of your stiff covers. Downstairs, the rest of your party is already packed and ready to go. Good morning! We all slept well last night, I trust. Everyone grumbles something without much enthusiasm. You're running on hour 24 of a road trip when most of the initial novelty has already worn off, and now you're trapped in a car with people you're not sure if you liked in the first place. Luke adjusts his arm, where you spot a book tucked under it. He must have found something last night. As you head out into the city, you see that the bridge that runs over the river has been lowered since last night. A line of merchants has already formed. People jostle to get their goods moving out of the city and back onto the road. You wonder if they knew about the impending apocalypse. The five of you come to a standstill at the very back of the line out of the city. Remus sighs as he surveys the wagons towering with sacks and crates. I don't like doing this. He straightens, rolling his shoulders back as he reaches for his crown and gently lifts it from his head. The heads of the crowd turn in unison and a murmur begins to rise from the crowd. That's the king! What is he doing here? One man gets to his knees and fully prostrates himself. Remus jerks his head towards the other end of the bridge, motioning for the party to follow him. He slips easily through the crowd, the people parting around him like water. Excuse us. You make short work of the bridge until you escape back onto the dirt road. Ahead of you lies a wooded valley, and past it the slate-gray outline of a mountain range on the horizon. Grim Mountain. We make for a mouth that leads to the caves inside. The heart lies in the mountain's center. Thanks to your work last night, we could circumvent our former obstacles entirely. It's just through this forest now. Let us make haste. We may yet be early to it. We may yet be early to the end of the world. Remus marches down the dirt road with a pep in his step, having apparently recovered from his disappointment from earlier. Water time. Big water time. I mean, really big. Big bottle coming. Oh yeah, that's a big bottle. Gotta stay hydrated when you're sick. Luke gives you an amused look, like he's the one actually babysitting you all. In the forest, the thick trunks of moss-covered trees stretch toward the sky like fingers from the earth. The air is cool in the shade. The ground smells of fresh leaves and damp dirt. Your family used to go on hikes when you were a kid, not so much after Mom and Dad separated. So, anyone know any games to play? What, like icebreakers? We already know each other. Have a song we can sing. If it starts with a number and rhymes with lottles of beer or beer on the wall, I'd prefer not to. How about I spy with my little eye something that's small, brown, and a little too energetic for this time of day? My poop when I don't eat any vegetables? Gross, they sell fiber supplements, you know. Some of them may even come in gummy form. I've never seen Luke willingly eat anything good for him. I once ate one of my mom's frozen diet dinners. It came with cinnamon peach mash and everything. Only worth 3 points, too. These are your friends? Not the pious types, I take it. I could take at least 3 of them in armed combat. Careful, Kieran. Remus puts an arm out in front of you, halting your mindless march in the forest. Barely a foot in front of you is a patch of darkness, a small circle of void stuff that lies directly in your path. Remus steps forward to examine it, the leaves crunching under his boots. This is not the first I've spotted today. The resolution must truly be vile to pockmark the landscape like this. Some leaves into it. You push some dried foliage into the hole with your foot. You expect to see the leaves float down into something, but instead they're consumed as soon as they touch the void, like being engulfed by tar. Go with a stick. You pick up a nearby stick and dip it into the hole. Where it meets the void, the stick disappears into inky darkness. When you pull it out, the stick is still intact. Put your hand in it. Something compels you to get closer, as though it's the only choice you have. You crouch down to your heels and brace one hand on the exterior of the hole. This is a bad idea. What are you doing? I do not understand. It's a metaphor for penetration, you know, like trains, missiles, skyscrapers, swords. A phone finger in. This is so gay. No one stops you as you poke a finger into the hole. You expect to feel something, cold, pain, anything, but there's no sensation. You try to wriggle your finger to no avail. It's like it's gone. You pull out your finger in a panic, only to find that it's still attached. The sensation of nothingness recedes as quickly as it appeared. So, have you sated your curiosity? I think so. One moment you're standing on solid ground, and the next the ground disappears from under you. You flail for a grip, one hand just barely catching the edge of a surface that begins to crumble under your fingers. Everything is dark, and the world has gone silent. You recognize the lifeline under your hand as the dirt and grass you were standing on moments ago. You've fallen into the void. Okay, stay calm. You know that you're still anchored to the world above by your grip. You're still alive, for now. Hello? Can anyone hear me? No one responds. Something tickles your exposed hand, and you hope it's one of your friends and not a black widow looking for its partner post-coitus. If this is nothingness, it isn't what it's hyped up to be. Isn't this where people try to come when they meditate? You feel neither relaxed nor centered as your feet dangle over the abyss. Something scatters across your face, and you taste dirt. You feel yourself losing your grip, clinging on only by the pads of your fingers. Your shoulders burn with effort as your feet swing precariously over the unknown. You cannot stay here. What? What? You brought something into this world, and you lost it to the void. Myself? My sense of self? What? I don't know, I just thought it should be something deep. No, it's obviously the dildo you dropped when you first came down here. This couldn't have been phrased any clearer. You must find your lost pride and go home, yet something tethers you to this place. Your sword hums against your thigh, vibrating in its scabbard. You carry an item forged by the crown. Something pulls at you like a child tugging on their parent's pant leg. You hear in the distance sounds, voices, laughter, and cars? The sound of a city, and it's as though the sound is being pulled from your ears rather than entering them. You can't hold on any longer. Your fingers slip from the edge, and, unmoored from your anchor, you feel your stomach lurch for a moment and free fall. You feel something grasp your forearms, hard, and yanks you upwards. Your head breaches the cool forest air of Peregrine, and your feet scramble against the dry leaves and twigs to regain your footing. Slipping forward, you nearly crash into the person pulling you up. Remus catches both of your hands in his, steadying you as your legs wheel uselessly forwards. Careful, I've got you. You're still breathing, hard, shaken up from your experience. What happened down there? I heard God? I think I talked to God? That's concerning. The group keeps walking, the mood noticeably more somber than before. No one knows quite how to broach the conversation, so no one does. You don't fault them. You've hardly even processed it. Maybe you were just imagining things. You fall into the lull of a hike, each foot stepping in front of the other without much thought. You wonder if Remus was right, and if the bridge back to Convivience had stolen your adventure. It feels less like the Fellowship and more like an awkward hiking trip that's picked up strays. Before you know it, the sun is setting and the night air is turning chilly. The mountains once on the horizon are now the sloped hills below your feet. There you go. We should think about setting up camp. I call making the fire! That's not fair. That's easy for you. What can I say? I know my strengths, and Wes's shield can provide the dish when we eat family style, and you can... Luke makes a vague gesture with his hand. You can do everything else, since you like to pull more than your weight for some reason. It's the closest thing to an olive branch you imagine you'll ever see out of Luke. As you set up a place to sleep for the night, Luke does help out. You all share from your packs a handful of dried meats and nuts. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's filling after a long day of walking. Wes disappears to follow the sound of a creak, and Cedric goes to sit by the fire. Luke plops himself in the corner of the camp, poring over his book. You finally have a chance to catch your breath. The past few days have gone by in a blur. Under most circumstances, the exhaustion would be getting to you, but here, you feel stronger than usual. From across the camp, Remus pads over to you. I will scout for an entrance into the mountain's caves. Come find me after you've had a chance to check in with your companions. He turns on his heels and walks away, towards the hills, leaving you and your companions alone. Who do you talk to first? We're going to do Cedric. You settle across from Cedric by the campfire, where he's squatted on an overturned log. He absently feeds the flames with twigs he pulls from the dry ground. You grab a handful of leaves damp from condensation and toss them into the fire, sending up a plume of smoke that makes you cough and hack. Right, wet leaves equals smoke. I forgot about that. They taught us that at the overnight camp, remember? Did they? All I remember was being locked in this intense psychological warfare with a mosquito colony. You don't remember? After they told us about wet leaves causing smoke, you decided you were going to smoke the mosquitoes out of the campsite. Huh, that does sound like me. You roped me into it too, and we created so much smoke that the rangers thought there was a forest fire. The counselors made us give a presentation on fire safety after that. Hey, I wasn't trying to get us into trouble. A kid had an asthma attack. You have to admit, it does sound like you. Cedric flashes you a rare, familiar smile that makes you abruptly nostalgic. What do you mean? Nothing happened. We barely talked when we started college. It's been like 4 years since we talked like this. Cedric sighs, staring into the crackling flames of the makeshift fire pit. I don't know. I've thought about it a lot, and we were always pretty different, you know? You were loud and fun and the leader, and I was always just trying to keep up. Yeah, that's why we work so well together. We balance each other out. Cedric huffs out of his nose, a weak smile at the corner of his lips. We couldn't exist without the other. Didn't you ever wonder who we might be on our own? There you go. Water time. Okay. Oh, little sneeze coming on. Oh, goodness. Ugh. Yeah, I'll take some Mucinex soon. No way. BFFs forever. Never. I thought we were going to be biffles for life. Best friends for life for life? Yeah, we get old and play bingo and take our insulin shots together. Ha! It did seem like that, didn't it? Yeah, it did. Though if I'm being honest, I was hoping you would contest that insulin bit. I don't know if I'll have the insurance to live with diabetes. Cedric almost smiles as he rolls his eyes. So, did you ever think about what we would be like on our own? Yeah, actually, I thought about it a lot towards the end of high school. I thought college was going to be a fresh start for me, and it was. I found this secret world. I met all these other people. I got to be my own person. I liked who that person was. I realized I didn't want to go back to who I used to be. Who I used to be. With you. It doesn't sting any less, but it has been 4 years. You can't deny that you've changed too. Besides, you have cool new friends and a purpose now. Sorry if I made things tense between us. I wasn't expecting you back in my life, and I feel like I was being pushed out of the one thing I had to myself. Apology accepted. What happens now? Oh, I understand. It's fine, man. I would have felt the same way. What happens now? I've been thinking, last night when you let me keep the Boja's sword. Just because something was harmful, it doesn't mean we have to throw it out entirely. I don't want to pretend that we were never friends, because that's not true. But we also can't go back to the way things were. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Let me know which is the best option to get the good ending for Cedric. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye!